Alright, now we're getting to the big ones. Tonight I went shopping. I went to Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot, and we're gonna need these guys back for these next ones. So let's plug them in. Turn them on so we can let this one warm back up. It takes a while for these to warm up to their full brightness. First we'll start off with the one I got from Lowe's. I have not opened it yet. It says it's comparable to 40 watts, so it should be a little dimmer than these, of course, obviously, but I don't actually have any 40 watt equivalent bulbs for comparison, so these will have to do. They had this on sale for $9.95, marked down from 18 something, so almost so $9 off. And let me open it here. And a really interesting smell, by the way. That's kind of an odd thing to say. This one... Alright, here it is out of the package. Has printing on there. 7.5 watts. It says it's supposed to be 450 lumens. By the way, the average 60 watt bulb is around 700 lumens. So let's put that in. There we go. See, initially up here, it looks... See, this is my genuine first reaction. This is honestly the first time I've seen this light on. Up here, it does look as bright as this or this, but you got to take into consideration that in effect, it's only half a bulb, so there's no light down here, so this would not be very good at distributing the light out in all directions. It would be mostly down, which I found is a lot of bulbs I've tried are that way. I'd say this would be good in a small room, maybe a small bathroom, and I like that color. See, I said this was my favorite, but so far now, this seems to be the purest and warmest white. I really like that. Alright, now I'm going to leave those on and just unscrew these. Now, let's come up to the next one. This one I got at Menards, Sylvania. This one looks like it would be fairly comparable. In fact, where did I put it? They look almost identical. A tiny little bit of a difference in the heat sink, but otherwise they look almost identical. Again, 430 lumens down here, 8 watts. So this one uses a little bit more power for supposedly not as many lumens. But then again, you might not be able to notice the difference between just 20 lumens. So here we go, I'm opening it up. By the way, this cost, I'm still opening it up, this cost about $18 at Menards. Now here it is out of the package. Very similar to the last one. So let's go ahead and stick it in there and see what we got. Alright. Very similar to the last one. And in the end, I'm going to do these side by side, by the way. But very similar to the last one. Maybe even a tiny bit brighter. It could be less with how much actual light there is and more with how it's being distributed. Again, it's technically only half a bulb, or in this case maybe 2/3, because there's no light down here. But this one seems to do a little better job in the distribution area. Okay, now let's jump back in time to last summer again. I work for a Radio Shack store, and last year they kind of went through a little phase where they had going green things, and they had these. This was about $25, $30 as I recall. The box, unfortunately I don't have the packaging anymore. I've been using this in my stairway It's good. It's good enough for that. The box, as I recall, said that this is a 60-watt equivalent. Now, let's take a look. Let's just hold it side by side to this one that I just tested, the Sylvania. As you can see, the diffuser dome is not as tall and not quite as rounded towards the base. And actually, that is one complaint I have about this bulb. I've been using this for a while. This one definitely does not do a very good job of diffusing the light out towards the sides. It's mostly in that direction. Let's go ahead and put it in there if I can. There we go. It's definitely got, again, it might be hard to see on the camera, but it's definitely got a lot more of a bluish tint than those last two. And it's definitely not as bright. It's very, honestly, genuinely difficult to tell on camera, but this is not as bright. I definitely would not consider this a 60-watt replacement. 40 watts maybe, but definitely not 60. Now, something else I got at the same time. At the same time I bought this bulb, I bought this one. Also at Radio Shack. This one was $35 last summer. This, according to the package, is a 100-watt equivalent. This is the only one I have that claims to be 100-watt equivalent. And I'm really stretching it, I guarantee. By the way, this one uses only 5 watts. You can kind of see the diodes, the LEDs in there. This one uses 7 watts, so 5 dies in here, 7 dies in here. Let's go ahead and put this in. In fact, I use this one in my bathroom. At least I used to. Some of the bulbs I've tested so far tonight have actually been good enough to make me reconsider. But anyway, you see it's a big, giant, beefy thing. See, now that, to me, looks like it's just as bright as that and that. So, forgive my language for a moment, but the LED light bulbs that Radio Shack is selling are crap. This is the 100, you have to get the 100-watt, so-called 100-watt equivalent to, in actuality, equal 60 watts. And even then, it still has the same problem as this one. The light mostly goes downward or upward, depending on how you have the bulb inserted. It doesn't really diffuse outward very well. I kind of have that situation remedied. I got a little clip-on shade. That seems to help a little bit, but still not very best. Not the best. Now, get to the last one here, and I will admit ahead of time, I have already opened this one and tried it, because this was the one I was most excited to try. Here we go. The Philips says 800 lumens, 12.5 watts. So that, according to those numbers, this definitely should be very similar to the 60-watt incandescent. This I got at Home Depot. It was $38. So, not cheap. Not cheap at all. By the way, for comparison, 12.5 watts, that CFL is rated 14 watts. So, if you're going just on power savings alone, ignoring the whole mercury thing and thing like that, if you're going just on power savings, that's only 1.5 watts difference between that and this. And at $38 a pop for these. Not quite there yet. Now, I'm still excited about these. They will get the price down on these. But, yeah, initially, as they are right now, I'd say no need to go quite with this. But, see, I'm a geek. I like tech stuff. I like new tech stuff, so I just have to try this. And in fact, I already have. Now, you see, you look here, you think, oh, it's yellow. It's a bug light. As you see, there's a little note here, white light when lit. As I said, I've already had this out of the box and tried it, and that is true. So let's go ahead and open it up here. And here it is, out of the box. Philips. This is the heaviest one. Well, I'm comparing it to this one. This one has the largest heatsink. This one, I'd say, is a tiny, tiny bit heavier. So, before I even put it in the socket, I will say right away that this looks like it would do a very good job diffusing the light more evenly rather than just in one direction. Alright, here we go. Let's put it in. Now that is a light bulb. I like that color. It's a little more yellow than that. And also a little more yellow than the CFL too. But I still think this is a fairly pleasing color. A nice warm color. Definitely yes. This would be a suitable 60-watt replacement. And yes, it does an excellent job distributing the light evenly. So, now, let's do this. I'm going to turn off the camera for a second because I want to let this bulb cool down because I want to remove it. And let's look at all three of the big ones I got tonight side by side. I won't include these because these suck. But I'll be back in just a minute. And here are the three lights side by side by side. The three that I bought tonight. Again, like I said, I don't have the Radio Shack bulbs because there's no comparison. These are garbage. Well, they work, but they're garbage compared to these. These two are 40, according to the box, 40-watt replacements, 60-watt replacement. Definitely the brightest. I'm going to be putting this one in my bathroom from now on. Goodbye to this one. This one, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. These two, between these two, I like this one the most. This is the... I'm trying to think. That's not the Sylvania. This is this one, the Utilitech Pro. So that's actually kind of a no-name brand, a generic brand. This was the $10 one. Of these three, this one is definitely the best. But if you don't want to pay $38, which, to be honest, like I said, is really not worth it considering you're only saving 1.5 watts over this. Of these two, this one I think is the best. And again, like I said, $10 marked down, $9 or $10 marked down from $18 at Lowe's. So, there you have it. There's my LED light bulb shootout. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. At the very least, it kind of fulfilled my geek itch for the night. Thanks for watching.